Hi, and thanks. I know there's lines for food out there, so I appreciate anyone that came in to sit down to eat. I appreciate it. So I'm from the commercial director from Playmob. We're based in London, and we've built a platform that allows gamers to buy items in-game to support charities. Did I take it the right way? So what we're focused at is helping people feel good about what they're doing in games. People think charity is just giving money away. We believe, and with our model, that it's about good brand association. It's about making your users feel good about themselves, and it's doing good, and it will increase revenue downstream. Back in 2010, Zynga ran a campaign for the Haiti earthquake, and they sold an item in-game for 5 days and raised $1.5 million. Now, the surprising thing about that is 80% of the people who bought in-game to support that initiative were new spenders. They had never come in and spent before. I've been spending the whole morning going in and out of sessions, and it's all about either the business model or how to engage users and how to encourage them to spend in game and start that habit. We believe by doing cause marketing, it really allows you to drive them to that first initial buy, and it's for a good cause. So here's the item that they ran in the game that they sold, and it was for points. We sold everything from hats to branded Waterloos, or pretty much toilets on behalf of games. We're about to sell a panda and social sims on Facebook through WWF, and it really does drive the sales. And what we focused on is how does it make that user feel? And anyone that's going to be buying, they feel good about it. It's a scientific sort of understanding that if you do something good, you're going to feel good, and endorphins are going to be released. And through that process of encouraging users to buy, you get the helper's high. And that helper's high is then associated with that community of games, or with your brand, and with being able to be a part of something that doesn't break from their normal habits. So one of the things we discuss with charities is obviously to get someone to donate within even if it's new buyers, but within their normal daily activities, instead of having to go off somewhere and enter their details or do something different, we allow them to do it in the process of the game. Now, we say the bottom line is it makes us happy. I as commercial director, I believe that's a byproduct of what we're really trying to achieve. And what we're trying to achieve is increase users' either association with the game or, more importantly, spending within the game. And if we can do that by helping a cause, by helping them identify with the community that they're playing within, whereas we're launching a game within a game for SOS Children, where we're going to, as people donate or buy items to build a city or a little village in Africa, they're actually going to be building that within the game, so that the players in game can go look at it, understand tangibly what they're doing and how they're moving the position forward. Some of the things, going back to just the things that we've helped with, this was East Africa via SOS Children. We've done We Forest that allows to obviously replant trees in Madagascar, where we feel really good about what we're helping to accomplish and what we're driving towards helping users and then developers or game companies to achieve. this is one of our favorites last year through game. You could buy a turkey hat. This is a really interesting sort of case study where there was actually two different items that were being sold in game. One was a silver hat, and literally it was a turkey that you put on your avatar's head. It was not pretty, but you had a silver and you had a gold. The silver one allowed you to buy Thanksgiving dinner for one family, and the gold one allowed you to do it for 5 families at a much higher price point, around $45, where a lot of people started to click and buy the larger item, who are already spenders within the game, already had their community set up, and they wanted to show off as a status, as a vanity item that they'd bought in there. And through that process, we set up a very closed loop feedback process so that the developer can get back to their users in very short order to go, you guys spent this amount of money, had this type of impact, and here's the evidence of what you've done and how you've increased either buying trees or helping with pause for ability, where the same game actually did something against cats and dogs. So we had a cat charity, we had a dog charity, and it was really interesting when we were going out and engaging with these charities. You could find all these dog charities that were really open, really helpful, came to us and really wanted to get involved, where the cat charities were very standoffish, kind of fickle, and wouldn't come, were very cynical about what we were trying to do. Finally, we found one that would get involved, but it was a really interesting sort of, all the dogs ones were running towards us, and the cats were like, yeah, well, we need a little bit more information, let's have a think about this. So here are just some quotes that have come out of these campaigns, where we do see great user feedbacks in the forums, where they want to be doing something good. They spend a huge amount of time playing these games and are invested in these games, and they want to be able to make a difference. Again, so this is for Per Blue. This is part of the hats. I can send this out to you guys, but it just always gets good feedback for what people are experiencing. Really, for us, what it really comes down to is the engagement level that we have for our users, and the increased spend. So that if your average spend is anywhere, we take this as 1%. We know some people have 2 to 3% of their daily actives. We just take an average and a view that most games will have 1% of spend. And what we've seen is the increase that we've give them in game during that campaign. Obviously, it's going to spike at the beginning of the campaign, where you can have more people buying, but then you have that 3% are new spenders, 30% of them continue to go on and spend in game. And we think that's very powerful and an easy way of trying to get people off that fence, to get them to start engaging and not just playing along as you go. So how do you work with PlayMob? What is the really painful and hard way to integrate with us? It's simple. We've created obviously an API that takes 2 hours to integrate. Great story. The developer will remain unnamed. We are being implemented into their game. The sort of project manager, the game owner, was very nervous about implementing this API. We went all the way across London with my developer in tow, who the whole ride across was complaining in my ear about, why are we going? This is so simple. Why are we here? And I kept telling him, well, this game company, they just want to make sure we're doing these things right, and they don't want to screw anything up. We sit down, they set us up for the whole day in their office, and the developer comes over, and 3 minutes later, they're like, all right, we're done. Can we go home? Which was slightly amusing, because the project managers and everyone else was like ready for this big, long, arduous process of a day, and the developers were like, all right, no, we're done. We can go home now. So it really was an enlightening experience for that developer. Of when we say it's easy, we do mean fairly easy. See how it works. It's a simple API call. We're there to track what's happening in game with the buys. Because one of the things when you do cause marketing, you need a lot of transparency. You're not doing a transaction at the end of the process. I see an item, I want to buy the item. I get to the end of that process and I'm going to check out, and then they go, would you like $1 or would you like to round up to go to charity X? What you're saying from the beginning of the process is, come buy this item to support this charity. So when you do that, there's a lot of regulations and legals that sit around that make it very hard to engage with charities to do it, as most companies would probably want to do it. There's a lot of legislation in place to protect the charities to make sure they get what they need to get. And this was all, the latest case study happened in Alabama, where a company said, if you send back these bottle caps, we'll donate something like 50 cents for each one of them. And they ended up making a donation of $150,000. Someone audited them. They should have made a donation of $1.5 million. So what we do with this API is all those things immediately get populated on a website that's fully branded, that you don't have to set up. And as those transactions take place, the gamers can come see, anyone who has questions can come see how much is being raised and what's going to be donated. Now, not all that money from that purchase is going to go to the charity after either Facebook fees or royalties, and then there's a breakdown of how it fits in with us. This is my favorite number. That 7 billion is the number of hours that we play a week in games around the world. And if we could just get 1p, 1 cent, 1 pound, of every hour that's spent gaming sent to a charity, we'd be really making a massive impact as an industry, especially everything that's happened in the East Coast of late, some of the bad press that the gaming industry is getting. And if we could use, we believe our platform gives the ability for games companies to engage with their users, do something great, and actually do some amazing things for social good. So that's my presentation. I don't know if anyone has any questions. Yes.
1 second. Hi, Julian Tietz of Kulu. We're currently developing a social game with Linkin Park, and charity is part of it.
Okay.
But we kind of figured I think most companies don't want the money to run over their books, which is, I think, the biggest problem that we are currently running into. Do you have any tips for that? Are there any providers who help to support charities, so you can do it directly, pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where I think it's going to be hard to not have it run across your books. Currently the process for us is we invoice you directly as it happens. Now when it comes to either your VAT or your taxes or anything else, right now we can give you the ability of donating 100% of the income coming through, where we then just charge a sort of a licensing fee. But when it comes to having it not go into your books, we're looking at positioning ourselves in that way, because there's a bond registration fee in the U.S. that's causing us 1 or 2 headaches because of that issue you're talking about. So we're looking at actually creating play mob currency, where that's what gets bought, and then they have the ability to then give the user choice, or here's 5 charities that you can donate to, which would help you guys in this situation. So you're not taking that revenue onto the books and then having it run off somewhere else. Any other questions? Was I that succinct, or is everyone just like food coma out? I'll take the food coma. All right, great. Well, I want to say thanks everyone for coming and listening to me today. And if you have any questions, let me know.